Have you ever realized how convenient your phone is? Not even just the phone, but the apps on your phone. I wonder how life would be without them. How would we make plans? How would we figure everything out? The answer that I gathered makes it even harder to imagine. What app would you say you use the most?
Netflix. Anytime I have any free time, I'll watch anything.
Most is probably TikTok, because I just watch TikToks all day when I have nothing to do.
So the app I use the most is probably actually the weather app, especially when it comes to ski club or just what's going on with snow in the winter in general. I kind of make a lot of plans based on the weather, so that's why I like to always kind of see what's going on with the weather in the next few days or so.
What app would you say is your most convenient app?
Again, same thing. I'm gonna go TikTok, because it's always entertaining and there's always like different types of videos you can watch.
Definitely also Netflix. Just like I said, to kill free time. They have some good movies too.
What app would you say you use the most?
I'd probably say the weather app, honestly. I mean, you gotta know the weather.
Probably Snapchat, because it's where I like talk to all my friends and stuff like that. And it's where I like make my plans to go hang out with people and stuff like that.
Well, there you have it. Sounds like phones help out a lot more than we really thought. They help you when you're bored or even when you just need help getting somewhere or figuring out the weather for the next couple days.
Hey, I'm Gus, and I'm here to talk a little bit more about the basketball rules that changed for the winter from the 2020-2021 season. With me, I have two players of the West Bridgewater basketball varsity team to talk about those rules and how those rules have been affect the performance of the team. With me, Chase Ryan and Ryan Hill.
Almost good again, but no Bulldog inside.
The main one being like the mask, it's a little bit awkward, I guess. It's not awful in my opinion, but it's different.
So we can't inbound the ball under the hoop anymore, and we can only have a few people underneath the hoop for free throws as well.
But there's other like slight ones, like when you're inbounding the ball, you can't you inbound it from the sideline and not from beneath the basket. Plays that would usually be like set plays are a little bit different now because they're from the sideline and not from the baseline. So that's also a rule that's a little bit messed up.
No type of plays coming from the sideline, changes on the free throws. Everything has changed on the basketball. Let's see their opinions about some of those rules and what they disagree with.
One rule that I disagree with, though, is the free throw thing, because it's like on the first one, you can only have, you can't have anybody in, and then on the second one, or you can only have 3, actually. But I feel like that's just a little bit dumb. You should just be, like, the free throw should be normal, in my opinion.
I don't really disagree with any rules, because, I mean, I'm just happy we have a season and we get to play. I'm just thankful for that.
Do those rules affect their performance?
It could be worse, just like if we couldn't like guard people or even touch anybody else. So a little bit grateful for it. And yeah, that's really just the rules and how they've affected me, but they're not that bad in my opinion.
I think the toughest thing is having to wear masks. It does get kind of hard to breathe when you're running up and down the court a lot.
So that's it. If you want to watch the basketball games, just access the school website. Thank you very much.
Since we've all been stuck inside during quarantine, I went around and asked people what their favorite streaming services were to watch movies and TV shows.
Netflix a lot.
Netflix, Amazon Prime. We sneak into my daughter's Hulu account.
Netflix or HBO Max.
Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, and Disney Plus.
Now that we know where they watch their movies, I asked a couple people what their favorite movies or TV shows were on those streaming services and why.
I am famous for going and watching like older movies that I loved, like when we were younger. Like one of my favorites is like A Few Good Men, Top Gun, those. The holiday time, we always watch those. I haven't really seen a lot of the new ones. I love all the war movies. We did watch 1917, which was good.
I think Coco is probably one of my favorites. And I just watched the new one, Soul, so that's really good. For Netflix, I'm all about The Office, which sadly just got taken off, so I have to find something else. But other than that, Stranger Things is coming back, so I'm excited for that, definitely.
I like movies with like Jennifer Aniston, Adam Sandler. Those movies I think are so funny. And like older movies I like too.
Now that we know what type of shows and movies are liked, I asked people what they think will be a big hit in the 2021 year.
As a big hit, I would definitely say Soul, which is the newest Pixar movie on Disney Plus. That'll be a hit. And Netflix, I watched Grace and Frankie, and I was obsessed with it, and they're coming out with another season on Netflix. So, yeah, those will definitely be really popular.
A big hit I think will be that new 2020 movie on Netflix. I think people will really enjoy that. I thought it was pretty cool.
I asked people if there was any movies or TV shows they would like to see its sequel in 2021.
2021 movie to sequel 2020. That would be pretty cool. So yeah.
There's another one called Derry Girls. It's set in Ireland, which is hilarious. So I can't wait for that one to come back.
There aren't really many movies that I want to see a sequel of in 2021, but one thing that I would love to see would be Harry Potter movies on any streaming service, which they aren't.
As you can see, we've all been stuck inside for a while now, so we've all been watching TV shows and movies to keep us busy.
The multiverse is a theory in which our universe is not the only one, but states that many universes exist parallel to each other. These distinct universes within the multiverse theory are called parallel universes. Knowing this, there can very well be an infinite number of possible ways that our time in this life could have gone or could go in the future. So what would the teachers at West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School want their ideal universe to be?
Interesting question, Jared, there. It brings to mind a lot of science fiction type ideas where you're really not supposed to mess too much with the timeline of alternate universes and such. However, that being said, I would like if our alternate universe was very similar to the one that we're in right now, with the exception of the Star Wars sequels actually being good and the last season of Game of Thrones not being terrible. That's how I would like my alternate universe to be.
Thank you.
So, if anything could be possible in another universe, I would say that Tom Brady never leaves the Patriots and Mookie Betts never leaves the Red Sox, because that was very depressing.
Okay.
Well, I think that this one is just the way it ought to be. We have some troubles, but I wouldn't change much. I think life is just great the way it is. I would just do without these things here and get rid of a couple little details like that. But other than that, I think we got it going here pretty good.
Those were the realities the teachers of West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School would want to live in. Thank you so much to the teachers of West Bridgewater Middle Senior High School for answering probably one of the most interesting questions a man could answer.
With the new net being built on the turf, I asked a player from each of the boys and girls varsity team about how they feel being able to play on the turf. Let's see what they have to say. Both players talk about how they think playing on the turf will help them improve as an individual.
Playing on the turf will affect how I play as an individual because mostly all the teams in our league have turf fields, so when we go to away games, I'm not used to the speed that the turf puts on the ball.
I think using the turf next year personally will make me more of a dynamic player, like as my performance goes, because the turf's going to be faster, it's going to be easier to control the ball. Not as many bumps in the ground as obviously a grass field. So I think it'll make me play a lot faster, more dynamic, and be able to do more things just overall.
Being able to play on the turf will also affect the teams as a whole.
it will affect how players on our team play as a whole, because we will all learn to have better ball control by playing on the turf, and we will get more real practice time in since we don't have to cancel any games or practices because the rain rips up the Howard fields.
But I think as for the whole team's performance, I would say that the turf field's definitely going to help. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to because we're so used to, playing on a terrible grass field with a ton of bumps and divots in the field. But I think overall, I think the whole team will perform and play better, definitely on the turf field, a lot faster.
Mr. Castro explains how the team will improve for more competitive games with this change.
I think being able to use the turf next year is going to be awesome. It's going to help us prepare for the tournament. Many of our tournament games are on turf, so it'll be helpful for us to practice having that level of speed that the turf provides.
Ms. Hamill says when the net will be fully up.
So the net will be up fully this spring. So we look forward to it, and we look forward to getting out on that field. And let's go Wildcats!
Sorry about that. Well, anyways, it seems like both players and coaches are excited to be able to use the turf next season. And they definitely want to be tournament ready. This was Ryan Estrella, signing off.
People love food. Today I'm going to ask some students about some of the foods that they love. Everyone has their own favorite foods. These students tell us what their favorite foods are.
My favorite type of meal is something that my mom makes. It's like a type of soup, and then we usually have like Caesar salad with it or something.
I'd say my favorite food is lobster raviolis because I just like them. I don't know, the taste is pretty good.
So my favorite meal recently has been this rice bowl I make with like sweet potatoes, avocado, spinach, hummus. It's like really good.
My favorite meal is mac and cheese with Caesar salad.
When you're feeling sick, what is one of the favorite foods that you like to eat?
When I'm sick, I would eat like saltine crackers because you can't really eat much.
But when I'm sick, I love to eat mac and cheese. Like, especially when my stomach hurts, it doesn't really make sense, but I like to eat mac and cheese when I'm sick.
My favorite food when I'm sick is tomato soup.
What is my favorite thing to have when I'm sick? And I guess when I'm sick, I don't really like to eat a lot, so I guess it's probably like toast or something, and like water. I drink a lot of water.
What do you favor more, unhealthy foods or healthy foods?
And I favor healthy food over unhealthy food more because it makes me feel good and it gives me energy.
I'd say, although like healthy food is good for you, like I would probably prefer unhealthy food just because like it tastes better, and like everything unhealthy is just like tastes better.
And I usually like to try to eat healthy because it just makes me like feel better, but I love junk food. I love unhealthy foods. I love all food. And then the last question was, do I favor healthy or unhealthy food more? And for me, it's kind of like a mix. Like in the mornings, I'll try to eat healthier, but like towards the end of the night, like I'll end up eating like kind of crappier, I guess. So yeah.
Overall, all the students in the interviews had different and unique favorite foods.
Dogs, cats, turtles, fish. Having a pet has changed the lives of many of the students and faculty in West Bridgewater High School. I set out to find more about the pets of WB.
Students and faculty have different ideas of what makes a perfect pet.
What makes a good pet is if they're like comforting.
To me, what makes a good pet is it's not too hyper, but it's got to have some energy to play.
We were looking for things that were going to be playful, which she's proven to be very playful, intelligent, easy to train, compliant.
So you have a pet. You have the time. So the most important question is, what do you do with your pet?
Some things I do with my pet, walk it, play with it.
My favorite things to do with my pet is to play fetch and just kind of relax with it.
And my favorite things to do is I like to go outside with my dog, and then I like to like throw the ball
and stuff, or like whatever, like a toy.
She's strong enough and durable enough to go on our hikes and bike rides, which we love to do. We trailer her in the bike. So she is definitely a member of the Nanopolis family.
Many people have fond memories with their pets, and these memories can change the way you live.
Yeah, I'd say it made me a little more patient than normal because training a dog is not easy work.
My pet has changed me by calming me down, like relaxing. Like if I'm in a bad mood or if I'm sick, he'll know and he'll like come and like lay with me.
Having a bond is important, not just for humans, but also animals, especially the time we're living in now. We need to have some sort of connection.